So we have a situation. It's hot, it's dry, and all my fences have stopped working. And so I'm a bit of a novice when it comes to electric fencing. I've only been using it a year. And what I didn't realise is that water is needed to complete the electric connection. So the moisture in the soil is what actually completes the circuit. So when an animal touches its nose or piece of its body against the poly wire here, it's the moisture in the soil that then pulls that current through the animal and into the soil. It's so dry, we have no moisture in the soil, which means even though our battery is firing and our energizer is firing at full tilt, I can do this and not even get shocked. Now, some of my sheep are really good. My two Jacobs, Fraggle and River, never even try and get out. And Coco, who used to be the escape artist, actually also isn't getting out. I am leaning towards the fact that the lambs are the ones causing the issue. And this is the situation we have. So the two little lambs have got out. They then call to Connie and Cotton. And then most of the time when they come out, those four are out trailing across the field. Now Connie, the mum here, has always been a nightmare with electric fencing. And that's why I ended up keeping her with the rams all winter, because she just would not stay in. But now we've got a situation where it is so dry that the electric fencing isn't working at all. So they're not even getting a shock, so they can just go where they want. And so what do you do to fix non-working electric wire because of no moisture? You pray it rains. I've also increased the number of poly wires. So I've got 5 strands of poly wire now in an attempt that the low charge that's going through will hit them at some point and stop them. I've got a lead out line, and what I've been doing is I've been flooding this with water. So I've got this pot here, it's got a hole in the bottom, and I'm filling it up. So that at least the ground moisture around this grounding stake is wet. And then hopefully that will draw. So what happens is the electric goes through the fence and then back out through this grounding stake and into the ground. And the more moisture that's here, theoretically, the more it should pull the current through. And then the higher the buzz on that fence should be. And we seem to be having a late summer heat wave. So all of this week in September is supposed to be boiling. I'm sweating like anything. I don't do the heat. It's Britain, it shouldn't be this hot. But all the goats are chilling in the shade. Aren't you? And eating the nettles. And there's little baby gaspode. So our farm seems to be in a bit of a microclimate here. We've had a dry summer anyway. The weather in July, we normally get 4.5 centimetres of rain for July, for example. And in Suffolk, we've had between 1 and 2 centimetres of rain, apart from a few places which have had flooding. Figure that. But I kind of think here, on my actual farm, I've probably had less than that. Now that is an issue because, as many of you know, we have no water here. So we rely on IBCs, which are now dry. The pond that I was using as a bit of a swale, which is now dry. And so now all we're doing is bringing water up in 5-litre bottles. So I do several round trips a day with like 20 to 30 of these bottles. It is not efficient at all. And so at the moment we're investigating getting a borehole, which is it will be between 10 and 15,000 pounds. But then because we have no electricity up here, we'd also need a solar unit for that as well. So the price is going to be higher. It's also not going to be drinking water. So it would just be grey water for the animals and the garden. So we may get a borehole. We may try and get a connection to the mains as well. Because again, if we want to build here in the future house, we'll need that mains connection. So I think the mains is what we're going to do first. And then in the future to self-proof ourselves so that we know we can get water if there's an apocalypse, we'll have a borehole as well. But the borehole will take quite a while to pay off. And so at the moment, I'm constantly checking fences, basically, to see if all the animals are safe. Now, it's not a massive issue here because my sheep don't stray far and my farm is surrounded by really good hedgerow. So as long as I'm up here often enough, I can bring everybody back with a bucket and it's not an issue. But say you haven't got that boundary and you are just using electric fences, just really beware that when you hit that hot, dry summer, your electric fences ain't gonna work. It's great if you have animals that are already trained not to touch it. They won't come out, just like Fraggle and River. And the rams actually have been super good. They were getting out constantly, every single day. I was just going out of my brain. And then I figured, because this pond has dried up, and I had the fencing around the pond, one edge of the pond, they were just walking straight through the pond. Now I have cut the pond off and got this fencing back. They have not escaped at all. Same with the goats. The goats have been really good. They are testing the barriers to find ways out, but they're not doing the electric fencing, which is good. But the sheep, those little blighters over there, on their rotational grazing, not so great. So I'm now hoping it rains, and rains fairly soon. Hello. What are you doing? Because that electric fencing just isn't keeping those lady sheep in. However, now it's September, there is only a month to 6 weeks before these boys start going in with the ladies. I will be doing a video on that in the next few weeks about the tupping plans and what's going to happen to Capulet and Montague and Obi, who's right over there, and the ladies they're going to be sharing a paddock with to make some babies.